Oh my goodness, Haley, this is so good. What is in this? How did you make this?
Well, there's some rice and some fish, and it took me hours to make.
Oh. Well, I'm glad because that means that I can add this to my seafood and add these to my grains.
Mom! That's what tokens are for.
Oh. Consumption is an all-new tabletop game from Colossal Games in which you are buying food, which is preferably healthy. And attempting to work out and maintain a healthy diet along the way. And going out to eat. Consumption, much like a feast on Super Bowl Sunday, barely fits on the table, but in the best way possible. To set up the game, give each player their components and their player board, and then count out the correct number of tokens based on the player count to put inside of this bag. Then set up the farmer's market, put out the recipe decks, fill in your daily planner with your activities, and grab yourself a couple of snacks because this game is going to make you hungry. Then fill in the Chinese buffet and the pizzeria with food tokens from the bag. On each player's turn, they'll have 4 actions which they're given to take. Some spaces are limited and others not, so players will sometimes be competing for spaces on the board. There are a variety of actions that the players can take. They might choose to go grocery shopping, they can take a recipe and cook, they can snack, they can work out, they can head to the farmer's market, or they can even go out to eat at the pizzeria or the Chinese buffet. Anytime a player takes food from the grocery store, it'll go into their kitchen. But if they go to the farmer's market, the pizzeria, or the Chinese buffet, any cooked foods will go directly into their body. Sometimes at the farmer's market, these foods will go into the kitchen because they're not cooked yet. Now let's go over what each of these actions do. On the player boards, there are 3 available actions. If a player chooses to cook and take a recipe, they place their token here. And then they take a recipe of their choice from here. Then they can place any 3 food tokens from their kitchen onto their recipes, and when they take it, they don't always have to place them onto recipes that they took this turn. If at the end of the game the player has less than 12 recipe points, then they'll lose 15 points. So it's important to cook in your kitchen every once in a while and not only just go out to eat. If the player chooses to snack, they take any one ingredient from their kitchen and they put it directly into their body. Each round that passes, the food in the kitchen moves down 1 space, and if they end up in this trash can, then the players will lose 2 points for every token thrown away. It's critical to not waste food in this game, and snacking is a great way to negate that. When food is moved into the body, the tokens go over that food space. At the end of the game, each player gains or loses the number of points under their maximum of each food category, and make sure you stay hydrated. You can lose a lot of points for not drinking enough water. Finally, the last space on the player board is the activities and workout space. When a player goes here, they take a card from the daily planner, and then they may place up to 3 matching food tokens from their body onto the activities card. Again, important to note that this can be any of their activity cards, and it doesn't just have to be the one that they took that turn. If at the end of the game any of the players have less than 7 total activities points, they lose 10 points. There are also 3 sections of the game board that the players may take actions on. They can go out to eat, they can go grocery shopping, or they can take a visit to the farmer's market. If the player goes out to eat at the pizzeria or the Chinese buffet, then they place all of their food tokens onto these spaces and into their body. If they go to the farmer's market, they pick one of these 3 available stores to visit. They can get food at Stan's Stand, coffee or parfaits at the Artisanal Bean, or get fresh veggies at Fresh Farm. These foods go directly into their body or directly into their kitchen, depending on what kind of foods they are. These spaces are limited to twice per player each round. When the players go grocery shopping, they're given $6 to shop, but before spending any of that, they have to roll 2 craving dice, 1 red and 1 blue. When they do this, it determines the cost of the market. Any food tokens in the same column or row as the craving die cost the player $1. Then they cover up that space with the token indicating that it's been bought. The other players cannot buy that exact food again for $1 unless it's available somewhere else on the board. If the player wants a food not in their row or column, it costs them $3. And if they want any food tokens from the supply, it will cost them $5, a high price to pay for a single good. The game takes place over 6 total rounds, and at the end of the game, all recipes and activity points are added to the player's total food points, and the winner is the player with the most points. That should give you a general idea of how to play Consumption. Make sure you tell us what your favorite food is in the comments below because we want to know. Mine is sushi. Be bold, play games, be you. Happy gaming!